Have you ever imagined that an ordinary-looking nickel, a simple 5-cent coin you might find in your change, could actually be worth millions of dollars, not just a collector's prize but a historical rarity that stands out in the numismatic world? And today we're diving into the fascinating, almost unbelievable story of the 1999 PUSA 5-cent coin, a Jefferson nickel that carries with it a rumored face value and collector's worth of up to $16 million because of the mistakes, errors, and hidden factors that make it one of the most desirable and talked about coins in American history. And as we explore this coin's journey, we'll uncover the details that make it not just a piece of everyday currency but a treasure with a legend of its own. Because in 1999, at the Philadelphia Mint, where countless millions of nickels were struck, a series of minting mishaps and overlooked die variations gave birth to a small number of coins that would defy expectations. And while the majority of the 1999 P nickels were produced with standard designs of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, collectors and experts began noticing that some of them carried subtle but important mistakes, from off-center strikes to double dies, to planchet flaws and misaligned designs that would normally be scrapped or go unnoticed but instead slipped into circulation. And these mistakes, coupled with the rarity of certain error examples, elevated this particular year into the spotlight, sparking rumors that a single specimen with the right combination of flaws could be valued in the millions. And when stories began spreading in coin collector circles that one such 1999 P nickel had been appraised for over $16 million, it triggered a wave of interest that has only grown with time. Because imagine the possibility that you could find one in pocket change, lying forgotten in a drawer, or tucked away in a jar of coins. And the beauty of this story lies not just in the coin's metal composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, nor in its mintage figures, but in the human fascination with rarity, error, and the idea that a common item could transform into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And part of the mystery involves the specific types of errors that have been documented on the 1999 P nickel, including double die obverse, where Jefferson's profile or lettering shows a shadowy duplicate image, creating a striking visual difference that advanced collectors hunt for. Off-center strikes, where the design is pushed to one side leaving part of the blank planchet exposed, a mistake caused by misaligned dies. Clipped planchets, where a portion of the metal blank is cut off before striking, resulting in a crescent-shaped missing edge. And misstruck coins, where parts of Monticello appear blurred or incomplete. And in some rare cases, coins struck on the wrong planchet altogether, such as a nickel design mistakenly pressed onto a dime or foreign coin blank, creating incredible anomalies. And each of these errors increases desirability, with some fetching thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. But it is the legendary specimen rumored to combine multiple errors, possibly a double die with an off-center strike on an unusual planchet, that has been whispered about in auctions and private collector groups as commanding a valuation of $16 million. And whether or not such a piece has been officially confirmed, the lore of its existence has cemented the 1999 P nickel as a coin of intrigue. And when you think about 1999 as a year of transition, on the edge of a new millennium, it adds another layer of symbolism to the coin's mystique, because this nickel isn't just a piece of metal but a snapshot of America at the time, carrying with it the standard symbols of Jefferson's legacy and Monticello's architecture, but also the imperfections of human and mechanical processes, those tiny mistakes that turn ordinary into extraordinary. And the numismatic community thrives on these stories, because collectors know that it is the rare outliers, the mistakes that slip through the cracks, which transform an everyday coin into a fortune. And while skeptics question whether the $16 million figure is exaggerated or fueled by hype, there's no denying that the highest quality specimens with confirmed errors from 1999 have already achieved remarkable prices in auctions, some breaking into 6 or 7 figures, proving that the market demand is real and growing. And when you consider the power of rarity combined with collector passion, it becomes clear how such astronomical valuations can arise. Because the truth is, value in coins is not always about metal content but about uniqueness, condition, story, and desirability. And the 1999 P nickel embodies all of these elements, making it a legendary treasure in the coin world. So the next time you sift through your change or roll of nickels, remember that hidden among them could be a piece of history, a small disc of metal carrying the face of Jefferson, the image of Monticello, and potentially the power to change someone's life forever. And as these stories continue to spread, the fascination with error coins only grows, inspiring both seasoned collectors and everyday people to look more closely at the money in their hands, because what seems ordinary might just be extraordinary. And that is why the 1999 PUSA 5-cent coin, with its rumored $16 million value, remains one of the most captivating tales in modern numismatics, blending history, mystery, error, and fortune into a single legendary object. So if you found this journey fascinating and want to hear more incredible stories of coins worth millions hiding in plain sight, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more amazing discoveries that could turn your pocket change into a treasure chest. Next, we dive into one of the most fascinating stories in modern numismatics, a story that has captured the imagination of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike, the story of the 2003 5-cent coin, a Jefferson nickel that on the surface looks like just another piece of everyday change that might pass through your pocket without a second thought, but in truth, because of certain errors and mistakes that took place during its minting, it has been valued by collectors and enthusiasts at an astounding $7 million, a figure so large that it transforms what would normally be a humble coin into a legendary piece of American coinage history. And in this script we will go on a deep journey into why this coin is so special, the types of errors that make it so rare, the way collectors perceive such mistakes, and how the possibilities surrounding its production have created a mystique that has caused its value to skyrocket in the numismatic world. So let us begin by understanding the basic foundation of the 2003 nickel, minted at the Philadelphia Mint during a time when the Jefferson nickel still bore the classic design that had been in circulation for decades, with the obverse showing the profile of Thomas Jefferson, third President of the United States, and the reverse depicting Monticello, Jefferson's famous home, a design that was widely recognized and had been struck billions of times over the years. So why then would a single year, a single mint, and a small handful of error coins stand out and capture the attention of so many? The answer lies in the world of minting errors, those fascinating slips in the otherwise strict precision of coin production that create unintentional rarities, and it is these errors that take a coin from being worth face value to being worth millions. In the case of the 2003 nickel, the mistakes are varied, some tied to double die errors, others linked to off-center strikes, planchet mistakes, die cracks, and even misaligned dies, each type of error leaving its unique fingerprint on the coin, creating something that deviates from the standard, and in that deviation lies the treasure. One of the most talked about possibilities is the double die obverse error, where the design elements on Jefferson's portrait appear to have been struck more than once due to a misalignment during the hubbing process. Collectors have reported instances of doubled inscriptions on the motto, "In God We Trust," and even on the word "Liberty," creating a ghost-like second image that adds an almost surreal layer to the coin's surface. Such errors are exceedingly rare, and when they occur in a widely circulated coin like the Jefferson nickel, they become instant points of attraction. Then there are stories of off-center strikes, where the coin's design was not properly aligned with the planchet when struck, resulting in part of the design missing while leaving blank space on one side. Such mistakes are easily visible even to the untrained eye, and therefore highly sought after, especially when the off-center strike is dramatic yet still leaves the date and mint mark visible. And in the case of the 2003 nickel, some of the discovered errors include 10% to 20% off-center strikes, which are remarkable finds. Another fascinating mistake involves the planchet itself, the blank piece of metal upon which the coin design is struck. In some cases the wrong planchet was used, for example coins being struck on planchets meant for other denominations like dimes or even foreign coins, and when such errors happen the resulting coin is immediately identifiable by its unusual weight or thickness. The 2003 nickels with such planchet errors are known to exist and are considered among the most valuable variations. Then there are die cracks and die breaks, which happen when the dies used to strike coins develop fractures due to repeated stress, and in these cases the crack leaves raised lines or extra metal across the coin's surface, turning a common nickel into a rare error piece. Collectors often nickname such coins based on the appearance of the cracks, for example, cut errors where parts of the design appear to be missing because of a large break in the die, and a few examples of 2003 nickels with cut errors have been found and documented, which greatly increases their rarity. And then there are misaligned die strikes, where the hammer and anvil dies that press the coin are not perfectly aligned, leading to distorted images or tilted designs, once again transforming an ordinary coin into an error piece worth hundreds of thousands or even millions when rarity and condition are factored in. But perhaps the most exciting possibility surrounding the 2003 nickel and the reason why it has reached such astronomical valuation is the mystery of whether some of these coins were struck as transitional errors, meaning that they were created using experimental planchets or test designs intended for future issues. And in the world of coin collecting, transitional errors are like holy grails because they are not supposed to exist in public circulation, and yet every once in a while a few slip through the mint's quality control and land in the hands of collectors. In the case of the 2003 nickel, Rumors abound that some were struck on experimental alloy planchets as the mint was preparing for the redesign of the Jefferson nickel that would begin in 2004 with the Westward Journey series, and if true, this would explain the extraordinary value placed upon surviving examples. So as we continue to explore this coin story, we must also understand how value is determined in the numismatic world. Rarity is key, but condition is equally important. Coins that are preserved in mint state with little to no wear command far higher prices than those that are circulated. And when an error coin like the 2003 P nickel is found in near-perfect condition, it becomes the centerpiece of auctions, selling for staggering amounts to collectors who value both the mistake and the preservation of history. Auction houses have reported fierce bidding wars over similar Jefferson nickel errors, with prices soaring into the millions, and the lore surrounding these coins only adds to the excitement, because collectors know that only a tiny fraction of them may exist, and every time one surfaces it makes headlines, further cementing the coin's reputation as one of the great treasures of modern minting. So how did such mistakes escape the rigorous processes of the U.S. Mint? The answer lies in the sheer scale of production. In 2003, the Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels, and with such high volumes, even a small lapse in quality control could result in thousands of error coins. Though most would be caught and destroyed, a few inevitably escaped into circulation, and those few have become the stuff of legends. For the ordinary person, the idea that a coin worth 5 cents could actually be worth $7 million seems almost unbelievable, yet this is the reality of numismatics, where history, rarity, and human error combine to create treasures hidden in plain sight, and it means that anyone checking their change today could, in theory, stumble upon one of these priceless artifacts, and this possibility fuels the passion of collectors everywhere, driving them to inspect every coin they receive with a careful eye, searching for the telltale signs of doubling, misalignment, or unusual weight that could mean they are holding a fortune in their hand. And when we reflect on this phenomenon, it becomes clear that coins like the 2003 P nickel are not just currency, they are pieces of history, tangible links to the processes, mistakes, and stories that define an era of minting. They remind us that perfection is rare and that in imperfection lies great value, and they inspire countless people to take up coin collecting, turning a hobby into a lifelong journey of discovery. The sheer allure of a coin worth millions also has cultural resonance, making headlines, fueling online discussions, and becoming part of the folklore of hidden treasures, the kind of story that sparks imaginations and makes us wonder what treasures may still be hiding in our own homes. And as we wrap up this exploration of the 2003 P 5-cent coin valued at $7 million because of its remarkable errors and mistakes, we can see how a simple piece of metal carries not only monetary value but also a story of chance, rarity, and discovery. So the next time you find a nickel in your pocket change, take a closer look. You never know what secrets it might hold. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the mysteries and values hidden in everyday coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and join us again as we uncover more stories of hidden treasures in the world of numismatics. Last, we dive deep into one of the most fascinating discoveries in the world of modern coin collecting, the story of the 2015 P. Jefferson 5-cent coin that has shocked collectors and enthusiasts alike by reaching a valuation of over $8 million due to its remarkable errors, production mistakes, and the incredible possibilities surrounding its minting history. And as we explore this topic together, we will uncover not just why such a simple 5-cent coin can be worth such a fortune, but also the fascinating processes, the unpredictable factors, and the collector's market forces that transform an ordinary piece of pocket change into one of the most coveted treasures in numismatic history. And to begin with, let us understand that the 2015 P nickel was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the largest and most productive mints in the United States, where billions of coins are struck annually. And when you have that kind of mass production, the chances of something unusual slipping through are always present. And in the case of the 2015 P nickel, those unusual events multiplied into a chain of circumstances that collectors now believe may represent one of the rarest combinations of errors ever seen on a modern Jefferson nickel. And it is this combination of errors, anomalies, and production mysteries that have elevated the coin's value far beyond the ordinary, making it worth millions. So what kind of errors are we talking about? Well, first we need to look at strike errors, which occur when the coin is not properly centered on the die, resulting in off-center strikes that can leave parts of the design missing or distorted. And in some 2015 P nickels we find dramatic off-center strikes where Jefferson's portrait is shifted dramatically, creating not only a visually striking piece but also an example of minting imperfection that collectors crave. And when such an error occurs with near-perfect luster and preserved condition, the rarity increases exponentially. Then There are die clashes, another fascinating error that can occur when the dies used to strike the coins hit each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost-like impressions of the reverse on the obverse or vice versa, and in some 2015 P. Nickels faint outlines of Monticello can be seen imprinted on Jefferson's face, a surreal and highly collectible feature that boosts the desirability of the coin enormously. Furthermore, we must consider doubled dies, one of the most famous categories of mint errors, where the hubbing process leads to slight doubling of the design elements, and in the 2015 P. Nickel we have reports of doubling in Jefferson's eye, in the inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust," and even in the word "liberty," creating a spectacular anomaly that instantly attracts those who specialize in error coins, and such doubled die coins are often hotly contested in auctions, pushing their values to extremes, and yet these are not the only kinds of mistakes that make the 2015 P. Nickel extraordinary. There are also planchet errors where the blank disc used for striking has imperfections, such as being clipped, cracked, or the wrong alloy, and in rare cases coins have been found where the nickel planchet was improperly prepared, creating missing layers that expose a copper core, giving the coin a unique two-tone appearance that should never have left the mint, and beyond that we have broad strikes where the coin is struck outside of its collar, leading to an expanded, distorted shape, and these broad-struck 2015 nickels are extremely rare because modern minting technology usually catches such mistakes, but when one slips through it becomes an instant prize, and one of the most valuable aspects of the 2015 P. Nickel story is the combination of multiple errors on a single coin, because it is one thing to find an off-center strike, it is another to find a doubled die, but to have both errors together, or to have a misaligned die strike combined with a planchet flaw, creates an astronomical level of rarity, and it is this sort of compounded error that fuels the claim of a single example being worth up to $8 million, because when you have an ultramodern coin with such extreme uniqueness and only one or a handful are known, the demand from high-level collectors pushes the value into territory that seems unbelievable for a 5-cent piece. But it is not just about the errors themselves, it is also about the timing and the story, because 2015 was a year when collectors were already paying closer attention to nickels due to previous discoveries in earlier years, and the Jefferson series, though often overlooked, began to gain renewed attention, and when news of these errors surfaced, a frenzy followed, driving up interest and speculation is a powerful force in numismatics, for just as rare stamps, paintings, or baseball cards can reach incredible values when only a few survive, so too can coins with extraordinary stories, and here the story is not only about a mistake but about a series of mistakes in an era where mint technology was supposed to be too advanced for such things, leading to further mystery as to how the coin survived, how it escaped detection, and how it ended up in private hands, and this aura of mystery and improbability only makes collectors more fascinated, fueling the legend of the 2015 P. Nickel, and when we add to that the importance of condition, because a coin with heavy circulation wear will rarely fetch extraordinary sums, but when an error coin is discovered in pristine mint state condition, graded by top services such as PCGS or NGC, it becomes an elite rarity, and this particular example was graded at the highest levels, with sharp details and minimal imperfections outside the intended mint errors, thus making it not only a rare error but a rare condition rarity as well, which is like a jackpot for collectors, and in auctions we see how such coins create bidding wars, as wealthy collectors, museums, and private investors seek to own a piece of numismatic history, and the valuation skyrockets not just because of intrinsic rarity but because of the desire to hold something that no one else has, something that symbolizes the unpredictable nature of minting and the magic of collecting, and beyond all of this lies the psychology of collectors, for coins are not just metal, they are stories frozen in time, they are tiny witnesses of history. And when a coin defies expectations by carrying errors that should have been impossible, it embodies both mystery and rarity in a way that no ordinary coin can, and for many, owning such a coin is like owning a time capsule of imperfection, a mistake that became a miracle, a 5-cent coin that was destined for obscurity but instead became one of the most famous nickels in history. And this is why the 2015 P. Nickel with its combination of errors has reached the legendary valuation of $8 million. And while skeptics may question such high prices, history has shown that rare error coins consistently break records, such as the famous 1955 doubled die cent or the 2000 Sacagawea dollar struck with a state quarter obverse, both of which fetched astronomical sums, and so it is not surprising that a unique 2015 P. Nickel would follow that path, and perhaps even exceed expectations. And so as we reflect on the journey of this humble coin we see the interplay of minting technology, human error, chance, rarity, collector psychology, and market forces all converging to elevate a simple 5-cent piece into a multimillion-dollar treasure. And that is what makes coin collecting so endlessly fascinating, because you never know when an ordinary coin in your pocket might turn out to be worth a life-changing fortune. And the story of the 2015 nickel reminds us to keep our eyes open, to study our coins carefully, and to appreciate the magic hidden in everyday objects. And with that said, we encourage you to continue exploring, to share your passion for coins, and to join us for more incredible discoveries. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare nickels and their astonishing values, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for even more stories of coins that turned out to be worth far more than anyone ever imagined.